Welcome, Virgo. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, and I pulled for your new moon in Aries energy, the Two of Pentacles, which is describing an interesting beginning of your new year. When the sun moves into Aries, which it did on the 20th of this month as part of the spring equinox, as the spring equinox, it describes often an impulsive, luminous, fiery, pioneering, leading new beginning. And I believe that you are in that process, but you're integrating what you learned from the past with what you are envisioning and focusing on for your future. And this is describing a little bit of being in between two worlds. For those of you that are familiar with the African Tarot deck that I use, this card focuses on a minstrel dancer. And for those of you that understand the very complex history of minstrelsy in this country as a feature of racism, you can get an idea as to the complexity of performing as part of a pretense. So holding on to a way that you have to do things in the past and engineering, manifesting a new way forward through a kind of empowerment that you have been gifted. So this is a way of talking about this release and surrender of control that I believe that you have mastered, are mastering at this time. And the space of allowing things to unfold. You have already created the decisions, the actions, the necessary to move you into a new place, but you're still evaluating the lessons you've learned. You're still understanding and clearing away the old so that you can get clarity on the direction you desire. This is about facilitating not only a new you or a new way of life, but this is bound up with new possibilities that exist in the world as a result, symbolically, of Pluto moving into Aquarius in November of last year. So if that is a clue to you as to the excitement, the event, the occurrence, the possibility, the promise of a new direction, one that has not existed before in a global sense, then this is also a way of helping you to navigate the chaos in the world by focusing on the world that you want to create. This is a general reading, Virgo. It's not going to resonate for all of you. If you're interested in a personal reading, information for that is in the description box below. I welcome all of you that are new and familiar and appreciate deeply the time that you're taking with me today. So for your present energy, I pulled the rose quartz, and this is describing the heart chakra. And it again is emphasizing lessons learned, ways in which you no longer look to what others can or should or promise you, and how you can supply that for yourself. And the key words are self-love. You can only love others as much as you love yourself. And that can be pretty sobering for many of you. I'm looking at the way in which you perhaps manage resources with others on their behalf, are the provider, and there is a sense that you are doing what is expected of you. You're doing the right thing. And that your worth is bound up with what you can give to others. This is suggesting a more transactional way of viewing your relationships, some of your relationships, not all of them, but perhaps some significant relationship that you are processing or evolving or releasing at the current time in order to experience a new kind of love, a new kind of relationship. This is clarified by the Fool card. Wow. This is incredibly empowering. This talks about your faith, your trust in yourself as a result of understanding what wasn't working for you in the past, how you invested your energies in conforming and complying with the status quo, the way things are, traditional institutions and arrangements. Perhaps you have reached the end of that. You've been exhausted. You've been flattened by that effort, and it hasn't yielded you the love, certainly not the self-respect that you believe you should have been deserving of. And somehow that valve just drained your energy away. And now, in response to this empowerment that you're experiencing by identifying those connections that are mutual, that are respectful and reciprocal, you now entrust in a new vision for yourself. And this can have to do with your work, a project, your profession, any aspect in which you felt the need for an infusion of inspiration, an infusion of faith and belief, a way that you are looking to renew your commitment to a practice, and that you understand that the real value you hold is in the lessons learned, and that those are sufficient to propel you on a path that really trusts in your ability to handle whatever comes up, and your belief that the path is the joy. The path, being on your path, is the privilege, and that you are in a gifted place to be able to build upon successes that you've already achieved. In the past, I pulled a talisman oracle and I pulled the healing energy card. And this description in the notebook gives a little bit of information about the literal talisman, which is meant to be a good luck charm. Take a moment to reconnect with your true self. It's time to heal the wounds you might carry, dissolve the stress, and replace the negative energy blocking your radiant character. Sometimes self-examination can be scary and upsetting. Whoops, gotta find that page. But it also brings joy and rebirth. Healing deeper scars doesn't mean that the pain or harm never existed or completely goes away, but it will no longer unconsciously control your actions. The tree is anchored and is absorbing the energy from the transmutation circle. You own the power of your own transformation, and you too can blossom with lush energy. Use this card when you feel drained and in need of healing power. Your heart and your mind are now shining brighter. The light radiates out of your body and out into space. I am healing. So this powerful energy has been clarified by the Six of Swords. This is the impetus in the past to leave a way of life behind. And that way of life can be a way of operating, a pattern of behaviors that you recognize as being insufficient to what you now feel yourself worthy and deserving of. It feels as though your whole self was not seen, was not heard, that you were had almost agreed to be a cipher for perhaps a provider, a partner, a parent, and you have recognized the hollowness of that experience, the injustice of occupying a space without being fully in it. And so, as a result of that, you're not only leaving that to uh, find a resolution, but to find peace in accepting that these experiences happened in a way that will improve upon the possibility of you gaining the love, the connection, the camaraderie, the support that you're deserving of. This is a part of not only a new version of yourself, uh, new beginnings, absolutely, but it's in the context of a new set of possibilities that exist in the world now. And that is as a result, in part, of Pluto entering into Aquarius. And that happened in November of last year. So it can be an instructive to look back at that time and identify the burst of inspiration, the insights gained, the sense of perspective that may have offered after what feels collectively as if we have gotten out of jail. We've gotten out of collective unconscious jail. And instead, you're moving towards that resolution, that peace, that self acceptance as part of a positive building block, despite the heaviness or the disappointments of your failures. In the future, I pulled from the wild elemental the cougar. I don't think I've ever pulled the cougar before. He looks sort of like a big mouse. And some of the cougar's attributes are the proper use of leadership and power, balancing power, intention, strength, and grace, self-confidence, freedom from guilt, sensuality, cunning, and enigma. A solitary cat. When you catch Cougar prowling into your life, he is bringing to you the message that you've come into your own power. Now's the time to take the lead in a situation. Now's the time to be strong. He's here to let you know that now's the time to leap into all opportunities made available to you. Using the power of intentions, be clear with your purpose and define what you are leading. So I do believe that this is a kind of a blend, an integration of many of the qualities that you've always had. This quality of being an enigma in some aspect of your life, perhaps in all of your life. I think the characteristic attention to detail that you are so well known for, the quest for perfection, for doing what is necessary to the letter of the law. Some of this has been distancing, and you've allowed it to distance you from possible vulnerability, risking your self in something that would be unknown to you, mysterious to you, uncomfortable for you. And I think now you're using some of those qualities, the stealth, the ability to move unseen, to amplify the successes and achievements you've already gained, building on your foundation. So this is clarified by the 10 of Cups. I love this because there's a lot of indication of material success, abundance, victory, achievement on a material scale, but this is speaking more to, I think, the path that you are traveling now, which is emotional fulfillment and contentment. I think you're understanding that you quite possibly already have a community around you. You've established a community that offers you the support that you need. But you're looking at this potential community, family, partnership, connections, even professional connections that are mutual, reciprocal, respectful, as ways to build towards this better world, better product, better service, better professional experience, better community life. You recognize that this sharing of resources is the key to deepening our knowledge, our wisdom, our experience of the world, a world in which you can process unhappy, unsuccessful things, vulnerability, hurts, disappointments, failures in a community that supports you, doesn't judge you, is safe. And I think that sense of safety is something that has been lacking from your experiences in the past, or you have done a lot to keep yourself safe from potential failures or disappointments, which, as you know, are necessary in order to achieve those successes, that abundance, that prosperity in our lives. I'm going to clarify the Ten of Cups with a single card, and I have pulled the Ace of Swords. And this is all about the truth of justice. And I feel for a lot of you that justice, the truth of justice, is something you have always worked, has always been in your line of vision, has always been in the realm of manifestation through your work, through your community or family life, in whatever way you're active. But that now you're understanding that your justice, you as an individual, as a loving, compassionate, caring, protective, empathetic member of a team, of a collective, of a community, as a collaborator, is about finding what you deserve, what you're worthy of, what you desire. That is a truth that you are worthy of, and that will restore balance in your life in a way that you have not experienced in the past. I'm going to pull an oracle card to finish this reading, Virgo, and hope that this has been insightful to you. And I pulled the card Doubt. And I think this is so appropriate for you with Mercury rising. Your ruler is Mercury, and it is currently in retrograde right now. So you have the ability to stand back, step back, and gain perspective over the lessons, over the ways in which you have allowed yourself, in some cases, to be steamrolled by those who were clear about what they wanted from you. I release the need to know all the answers. So, and this is giving me a sense about the devil you know, right? We stay in places that may not be safe, may not be happy, may not be prosperous, but it is, for many of us, the devil we know. The difficulty, the oppression, the unhappiness, the lack of success, the lack of loving connection that is familiar to us. We know what to expect from a failed or failing relationship, whereas to risk our vulnerability in a space that we are not familiar with, that we can't predict, that we can't control, has until now been anathema to you. And I think you're moving in a different space. So if you've enjoyed this content, please check this out. And until next time, Virgo, namaste.